Hey guys, so what I'm doing is uploading a DC Universe Online review onto the channel. I guess if you're watching it, it's already uploaded, so that statement's kind of redundant. But anyway, yeah, so for those that weren't aware, I did play in the beta. I hit level 30 in the beta for the game, which was the max level and is currently the max level on the live servers. And, if you want to take a look at any of the actual game itself, like quests or characters that are in it, you can check my channel. There's also some character creation videos. And in this review, I'm not going to go too in depth on the character creation because I do have some videos up on it already. But needless to say, I think it's pretty good. You can customize your costume completely. You can change any of the color schemes that you want, and you have a lot of ability to customize. If you want these leggings, these boots, these shoulders, I mean, you can really look how you want. The one big grudge, sorry, I do have against it is the body types and the facial expressions, things like that. You can't change your eyes, your cheeks, your actual height other than the preset large, medium, and small. You can't change your ears, so any facial features, can't speak English today apparently, that you want to be able to change or customize a little bit, maybe make your ears longer, your nose smaller, bigger jawbones, things like that. You can't do it. So that's kind of a downfall. It's the only real problem I have with the character creation, but the rest of it is pretty good. The game itself obviously is centered around the DC Universe Online, or DC Universe. That's what I'm trying to say. So you're going to be interacting with a huge amount of heroes, villains, superheroes, or supervillains, whatever you want to call them. They're all in the game. They all have voice actors, and you're going to be interacting with them from questing to dungeons to fighting them, whatever scenario they're in. Now the game itself lets you pick a mentor, and the mentor itself is going to be hero or villain. So you have 3 for each side. The heroes have Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, and the villains have Lex Luthor, Cersei, and Joker. So I only played hero on the live servers and the beta, so I'm not really going to talk too much about the villain, but essentially they're the character that's going to influence a lot of the game type that you play. They're going to contact you via your communicator. They're going to be talking to you a lot, so if you're on hero side, you're going to have Oracle, and I think the mentor has Calculator, or the villains have Calculator, sorry. Now, the mentor themselves affects where you spawn. So if you have Superman or Wonder Woman, you're going to spawn in Metropolis, and Wonder Woman, for example, will spawn in Chinatown, so a completely different area of Metropolis, and Batman will be in Gotham. They also affect the last quest that you do, so your level 30 end quest for the story, before you start going into the dungeons and the hard raids, things like that, will change depending on your mentor. Now, the first few quests that you do inadvertently are also affected by your mentor, because they start in different zones. So you usually won't go to the Superman starting zone if you're in the Wonder Woman, or Batman to Wonder Woman, or Superman. You're going to miss out some of the quests. They're all available to you. You can go back and do them at any time, but more than likely, if you're using Superman or Wonder Woman, you're probably not going to go fight Bane unless you make it your goal to. You're going to do the ones that are on Metropolis, but you do also have to go to Gotham at some point in the game. The movement types that you get to pick from are acrobatics, super speed, and flight. They're pretty self-explanatory, so if you have acrobatics, you're going to be sort of Spider-Manning it around, climbing up walls, double jumping. You get a grappling hook. If you're super speed, super fast, and if you want to fly, you can pick flight. Now at level 9, you do get to put a point in them, which is going to increase that particular movement type. So acrobatics, I believe, is a grappling hook. Super speed is the speed force, which for those that don't know is sort of where the Flashes get their power from. And flight is supersonic, so they're going to increase your speed drastically. And for acrobatics, it doesn't increase your speed as such, but I believe it lets you double jump, and it'll pull you to the target. You'll use your grappling hook. I could be wrong, you might get that earlier, but I think that is the level 9 ability that you get. And in each of the movement types, it also affects what's called a skill point. So you can put skill points in either your weapons. So if you pick martial arts, you can get additional attacks or stat increases. Or if you want to get a different weapon type, you can also put points in those too. So if you want martial arts, you can put them in rifles or dual pistols. But your movement types have their own trees, essentially. So inside of that tree, you can get specific attacks. You can get basic stat increases, and they're different depending on your movement type, obviously. There's 6 powers in the game. There's fire, ice, mental and gadgets, and sorcery and nature. They all have 2 roles in the game, so everything can do damage. so you can be DPSing with every spec or every power type. But they also have a separate role for the group. So fire and ice can be tanks, which you unlock at around level 9 or 10 if you want a dungeon group for it. Mental and gadgets can be control class, which is your CC. Hold the min back, increase your regeneration for power, which is your mana in this game. And sorcery and nature can be healing. So the way it works is kind of weird. So in each of the power sets you have 2 sets of trees that you can spec into. They each have different abilities for different roles in them. And you also get what's called the iconic powers, which are your heat vision, your super strength. Basically at level 10 you unlock the first tier of them, so you can pick up heat vision or Wonder Woman's lasso. At level 22 you get the big stat increase ones, so you can get maybe 100 extra health and 50 defense, or you can have super strength. Not really any abilities in the level 22 ones, but huge stat increases, which are very useful. A lot of the iconic powers suck, to be honest, which is kind of a letdown, like Black Adam's Word of Power, which is kind of like the lightning bolt that comes down in the trailer. Pretty crap. It takes ages to use it. You don't get healed that much, and it doesn't do that much damage. Kind of a letdown to have a lot of the iconic powers so useless in the game, but at least they're in there. You can still see people do them, and if you're based on if you're playing it based on a character rather than actually to do dungeons and raids, you can really get close to the character just by the iconic powers, which is kind of cool. Because each power set has 2 roles, what you can do is switch through them at will. So in the example, I played this on the PC. It is also available on the PS3, but I could press T, and if I was on my ice character, he would switch from his damage spec to his tank spec. You don't get any loss in power or anything like that. As long as you're out of combat, you can do it, and it's immediate. It takes effect straight away. The only thing that will change is your hotkeys, your user interface, or ability bar, whatever you want to call it, from your 1 to 8 buttons. They're going to change to, and I just hit my mic, I'm sorry about that. They're just going to switch to whatever your new spec is. So if you were damage, they'll switch from your damage abilities to your tanking abilities, and you can change whatever. Each loadout has a separate bar that you can change at any point, so you don't have to worry about switching it each time you change. You can pre-change them, preset them is what I meant to say, sorry. So with that said, when you switch specs, it actually inadvertently, why do I keep saying inadvertently? It doesn't even apply to this context. Sorry, you actually will have the ability to, your abilities will be different actually. So if you are using an ability, for example, in mental, maybe when you're in your damage spec, it will do a set amount of damage, and then it will increase your damage by, say, 35% for the next 5 seconds. If you use the exact same ability